Good evening, and welcome back to the Pastor Study. There's a verse that has been floating through my mind for a day or so that I'd like us to take a look at tonight. The writer of Hebrews in chapter 4, verse 16 says this: "Let us now approach the throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need." Bold words, to be certain, enjoining us to approach the throne of grace with confidence, with boldness, with the goal in mind to receive mercy and to find grace to help us in our difficult times. You know, the difficult times are times where we don't think about approaching the throne of grace boldly. We bawl and squall and lay on the floor and kick and scream because things aren't going our way, and make promises to God if He'll fix them for us. But the writer of Hebrews gives us a different perspective. We're to approach the throne of grace with confidence. He says, so that we will receive mercy and grace. But you know, this is not the first time that we've been told to employ boldness in our lives. David writes in Psalm 138, verse 3, "When I called, you answered me. You made me bold and stout-hearted." Wow, strong words. God told Joshua after he had taken over the leadership of Israel to be strong and to be courageous. In essence, to be bold. In fact, God went on to say, every place that you place your foot, I have given it to you. In essence, you can't go wrong, so be bold, be strong, be courageous in your outlook and the way you approach life. There's another place where Jesus tells us to be bold as well, and that's in the Lord's Prayer. And I bet right now you're thinking, I don't remember the word bold in the Lord's Prayer anywhere. Well, I want you to think about what was taking place. The disciples came to Jesus and said, would you please teach us how to pray? So he says, okay, here's how you should pray. And he gives us a model prayer, an example, if you will. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. In other words, we begin with worship. We begin by offering our worship up to the one who loves us beyond measure, the one who is creator of all that we have and ruler of all that we have. And the next words speak volumes. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Think about what that means. You know, I grew up in a tradition where we repeated the Lord's Prayer every Sunday. And quite frankly, it became another set of words that really didn't mean a whole lot. But think about what Jesus is telling us to pray. Thy kingdom come. God, bring your kingdom, bring your world into my life. Thy will be done. Not the things I want to do, not the things that my flesh wants to do, but let your will be done in my life. Bold words, to be certain. But what does that mean? Well, I think it means thy will be done in my life. Thy will be done in my marriage. Thy will be done, in my family, in my work, even in my vacation. Thy will be done, Father, in my successes, and yes, even in my failures. Thy will be done in every aspect of my life. How dare we be so bold as to invite him in, to ask him in, to expect, to anticipate that he would invade our lives that way. He is so great, and we are so insignificant in the grand scheme of things. But I want you to remember this one thing as I close. We are children of the King. And you know what? I believe we need to begin to act like it. And that means taking on that holy boldness, not the boldness that comes from being holier than thou, but the boldness that comes from knowing that we are backed up by the King, by the Father, through the presence of the Holy Spirit in our lives. And because of that, we can approach the throne of grace with confidence. Be blessed, and I look forward to seeing you next time in the Pastor Study.